Clams. We all know what one is and pretty much where they come from. But have you ever heard of the Pismo clam and its story of endangerment? Now, you might be thinking, why should I care about a clam? Well, I led a group of my students to Newport Beach, California, where we were able to get some hands-on experience learning how to answer this question for ourselves, under the guidance of marine biologist and founder of Get Inspired, Nancy Caruso. What we learned was that not only are these clams beautiful and exciting to find, but they represent a powerful ecological comeback from which we humans took them to the brink of extinction. Now, the research goal for the day was quite simple: to see how many Pismo clams we could uncover from within the sand in a 45-minute surveying period. Now, the sampling procedure was very structured, but to explain simply, with each clam we found, we measured its length, its weight, and documented its position along the coast using GPS location. And this data, gathered over the course of many months along the Newport coast, will allow Nancy and her research team to draw conclusions and make inferences as to where the clams are coming back most commonly and perhaps why. Or, even more interestingly, why might they be hanging out in some areas along the coast versus others? Now, that's the cool thing about science, if you ask me. The more questions that you get answered, the more that you find yourself asking. My student researchers from Vanguard University were stoked to pull up Pismo clams from the sand, and yes, they definitely got their workout in raking that day. But not only did we discover more clams than we expected, we also found endangered starfish, blue button jellyfish, sea stars, and more. Beachgoers came up many times to ask us what we were doing, and were fascinated to know about the story of the Pismo clams despite living in Southern California their whole lives. Now, after unearthing the clams and taking their measurements, we were careful to put them back exactly where and how we found them. Yes, how matters. Nancy is discovering that for currently unknown reasons, the Pismo clam always seems to orient itself in a specific manner underneath the sand. Now, this may have something to do with tides, protection, or temperature, but for now, it remains a mystery. But what is not unknown is just how the clams became so endangered. And I was excited to learn more from Nancy regarding this story.
Okay, my name's Nancy Caruso. I'm a marine biologist and founder of Get Inspired. Get Inspired is a nonprofit organization located here in Orange County, and we focus on inspiring people about nature through science. Our goal is to restore species that need a little bit of our help. So today we're out here looking for Pismo clams. We're at Newport Beach, and Pismo clams used to be bountiful all along the sandy coast of Orange County, all the way up to Pismo Beach and all the way down to Baja. So any sandy beaches would be covered with clams. And on a day like today with the negative tides, there'd be hundreds of clammers out here with rakes collecting clams to make chowder for their families. And they could find enough clams in about 10 minutes to make a big pot of chowder that would last them for a few days. But no more. We ate all the clams, and by the 1970s, the clam populations were declining. By the 1980s, really nobody was clamming anymore. And you won't find any clammers out here on the beaches today, except for us. So we're trying to figure out how many clams are still left in Orange County, what the densities are, if there are any legal size clams, which are 4.5 inches. You can't take them unless they're 4.5 inches. And then if they're actually successfully reproducing. And we can do that by finding the little clams. So we don't find them in the act, but we find the little babies, and we know when they were born, either last year or the year before. We can tell by the size of the clams to know that we actually still have successful reproduction along the coast. That's a good thing. So we're hoping to see the clam populations building over time, seeing more legal sized clams, because the bigger the clam is, the more gametes it has. Eggs and sperm make new babies. And so with the help of the community and with the help of students at Vanguard University today, we were able to go out and survey about 300 meters of beach to assess the clam population here in Newport.
Overall, by the end of the survey, we had found several clams of varying sizes, which was so encouraging to see. Anywhere from 11 millimeters to over 100 millimeters in length. Students were also excited to learn more about the coast that they call home and to be active participants in valuable research to help us understand more about these important Pismo clams as indicator species, giving us insights into not only how healthy the clams' environments are, but as a result, how healthy ours are as well. So, next time you step foot in the waves breaking off the Southern California shore, consider that right under your feet might be a precious Pismo clam, making its comeback from many years of overharvesting and human consumption. And that to prevent this from happening to other species, We as humans need to consider the impact of our actions not just on today, but on the wellness of this planet for years to come. Now, if you would like to volunteer with Nancy and her team on more coastal research trips, please head to her website, sign up under the volunteers section, and we'll see you guys at the next Pismo Clam survey. For all the Pismo Clams and the adventures to come, I'm Brittany Shuffler.